What up, boys and girls? It's your boy, your man, Rob Stapleton with the Rob Stapleton Effect. I'm here with my co-host, my partner extraordinaire, my brother. What's up, Mr. Marshall Brandon?
Hey, what's up, brother?
What's good, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling wonderful. Marvelous.
Feeling good off of this blue?
Yeah, off of this new blue we got up in here.
Yeah, we gonna get to that in a minute.
Right,
We gonna get it.
Been here long, and you know what I mean. The liquor showed up. So,
Let me ask you a question, man. Remember when you was little, you go see a Bruce Lee movie?
Yeah, most
Remember this Bruce Lee days and shit?
Yeah.
And then coming home, you be fighting this shit. You be on some shit.
Yeah.
You be waiting for a fight to happen.
Right.
When's the last time you got in a real fight?
Last time I got in a real fight was, probably like I want to say about 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah. See, that's grown man shit right there. That's
was a
grown
long
man
time
shit.
ago. Yeah.
15, 16 years ago. Because, you know, the internet's one of these things, the beauty and the curse of the internet is they make this fighting shit look easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
Right.
ever watch a fight on YouTube?
Oh,
This
yeah.
shit never look good. This
Oh,
shit
yeah.
never look good.
Oh,
Motherfuckers getting hit. Motherfuckers yelling out, dude, not cool, dude. Dude, not cool.
Getting their head busted on the. It's when the motherfucker fall and their head hit the
Yeah,
pavement.
yeah,
That's
they
what
had
it's
hit the
like.
pavement. You get a lot of views with it, but the fight never go the real way it's supposed to go.
Nah, never.
Which brings me to our guest today, man, our special guest today.
Yeah, a real fighter.
A real fighter that gets paid to
real
knock motherfuckers
Right,
out.
right,
All right? You know, gets paid, trained, hands
Right.
registered.
A real star, not a world star.
People don't
A real
realize
star.
when a motherfucker say that their hands are registered, what that shit mean.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers got to register a handgun or a rifle
Right.
or AK-47, whatever. But
Right.
when your hands are fucking registered,
Your hands got a serial number to
that's
it.
some shit. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome our guest, 2 division champ, one of the best boxers in the world, my boy, Mr. Danny Garcia, Danny Swift Garcia in the building.
Yes, sir.
Danny, what up, man?
Chilling, man. Can't complain.
Nah, man, first of all, I want to thank you for coming through, man. You know what I mean? One thing I fuck with you, Danny, is you come from this, you have an East Coast sensibility from you. You know what I mean? I'm a New York guy, you a Philly guy. Tell us about growing, you come from a state where actually from a city where boxing is huge.
It's a bunch of boxers from
Bunch
it's
of boxers.
legendary.
Joe Frazier, I'm talking about
That's
fucking legends.
Yeah.
Joe Frazier.
Yeah. Before we get to that, you say you haven't gotten a fight in 15 years, right?
Yeah.
You ain't hanging with nobody from 18 to 21. I was hanging with these 3 little young punks in Miami. You feel me?
Man.
They want to be looking at girls, other dudes' girls, and saying what you looking at. I almost got in 4 fights because of these young punks.
God damn. See, I'm going to tell you like this, Danny. I'm hanging with you. I might talk a lot of shit too.
Right.
Knowing that I got you right there.
I don't fight. I'm like, I fight in the ring, but I don't street fight. But I was hanging with these young punks, and they crazy.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
hell yeah. They expect you to clean all of that shit up, right, Danny?
Yeah, for sure.
Ain't none of them motherfuckers gonna be on
Yeah,
TMZ,
yeah,
but y'all asses will be on TMZ.
Danny Garcia sued for knocking a
Yeah,
young
yeah.
up.
So like I was saying, man, you come from the city, man, where boxing is the shit, man. You got Joe Frazier, you got Bernard Hopkins who just retired, you got young dudes coming up like
Sonny
Ennis.
Liston out there.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got you holding your own, man, keeping this door open, man. Tell us about coming up in the streets and jumping into the gym in Philly.
So, I'm born and raised. I'm Puerto Rican, born and raised in North Philadelphia. The Badlands part. That's where my dad was from. So, I'm just from the inner city kid, just like a kid from New York. You know what I'm saying, or a kid from any big city. I'm just an inner city kid. From the North Philly ghetto. Who work hard, fell in love with boxing at a young age, and just kept going with it.
Did your pop used to box? Did Angel? Did he used to box as well?
Yeah, he used to train in Puerto Rico as a kid. He never competed,
Right.
like in a fight, but he trained. So he's been around boxing his whole life.
Right. So that was your first. Who did you like when you first started getting to the boxing? Who did you look up to? Everyone has somebody that was their dude. Who was your dude that was Puerto Rican that you was like, yo, I admire this dude? Who was your guy?
Felix Trinidad.
There it is.
That was my
That was a
guy.
bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
I love Trinidad so much. And then I remember when Bernard Hopkins beat him. I didn't even know Bernard was from Philly at that point.
That's crazy.
Because I love Trinidad so much. And you know, like I seen people in Philly, yeah, Bernard, you know, he's from Philly, and I was like, oh snap! So somebody from Philly beat him. And at that point, I was like, yo, that's when I became like a B-Hop fan. Yeah, I wasn't a bandwagoner, but you know, I respected him because he was from Philly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, yo, B-Hop. To me, B-Hop is one of the greatest fighters of all time, like easily top five.
Crazy.
To me, he could be number one
Undeniable.
because his
Undeniable.
resume is so crazy.
Crazy. Nah, B Hop was the dude, man, and he would get in the ring and fucking dominate you. You
Yeah,
know? He had like that Philly mentality.
Yeah, I remember when he beat Felix Trinidad, because on the south end of Hartford is where all the Puerto Ricans was at, and it was like a bunch of half-painted cars. You know what I'm saying? Because they had painted the cars before the fight, but they didn't finish because he ain't win the fight. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, because you know how they paint on the windows.
That's hilarious.
So, but I remember that, man.
Yo, Trinidad was that dude. So if you're gonna look up to somebody like that, that's the type of dude that you want to fucking look up to. So you get what? How old were you when you first got into the gym? Were you like 9, 11? Like
My first day ever walking to the boxing gym, I was 7 years old. But I was training for like a few weeks, and then that's when my father had went to prison. So Pops went to prison for 3 years,
Right.
and then when he came out of jail, I started boxing again at 10, and then we just went in, never stopped.
that got to be crazy, man, for you, you know, say that. I went through the same shit with my pops, man. I was raised with my pops, not my mom's. And I remember getting that knock at the door when my pops had just did some shit, and they were telling me my pops was arrested. And I came downstairs and saw my father in the police car. And it was just surreal. Like, that was my superhero and my provider, and he was gone. And I had to live with my uncle for a while. You know what I mean? I knew my pops would be coming home, but I knew I was on my own for a little bit. I had to man up, even at a young age. You know what I'm saying?
Go with Superman, because I used to ask him back in the day, can he beat Tyson? He'd be like, yeah, I'll fuck him up.
Andrew ain't no joke, man.
I'm like, Pops really made me believe that shit.
Yeah, yo, Pops might have could do it. Yo,
Pops?
I seen Pops.
Shit, you fuck him up, boy? He's like, yeah, I'll fuck him up. I was like,
Yo,
shit. Look, now I be like, yo, man, oh, you crazy, man. Oh, you.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you a story about your pops, man. First of all, a lot of people may not know, Danny, man. When I first met you, dog, I introduced to you from a common friend that we have. When I met you, sometimes you meet somebody like people that respect me in a comedy game. They go, yo, Rob, you a level dude. I didn't know you would be a diva or asshole. I didn't know what to expect when I first met you. And I was like, yo, this dude, he's on the top of his game, but you was dope as shit. And even when I gave you the call to come do the movie, you came down, it was no problem. You came with your pops the first time. The second time you came down with your brother. And I'm gonna tell you this. This is one time you probably don't even know this, man. You were shooting your scene in the movie. People don't know that we did a movie called The Stuff. You shooting your scene, and you out there with the actors. I'm sitting in the van with Angel. Angel hit me with some real shit. This is why I thought maybe Danny wasn't from Philly, he was from the Bronx, because it was like a Bronx conversation I was having with Angel. And he told me when you was little, right, and when y'all started going on the road, you know what I mean, to fight, and he told me you, one of your first fights that you had, like you lost this fight, and he was saying after the fight, he didn't really care so much that you lost, he didn't want you to lose, but he didn't care about that. It was afterwards. He said after that fight, you and the other kids were all in a hotel room, and you was eating pizza and hot dogs, and you was jumping up and down on the bed, and he had to pull you aside like Joe Jackson did with Michael, and it was like a real moment. He was like, Danny, this shit is real. He's like, this money that I'm putting up for us to be on the road and to do this shit is your future. You know what I mean? And I thought that shit was so fucking real.
Man, did he tell you the part when he slammed me against the wall, put the iron to my face? He put the iron to my face, said if I ever lose again, he'll burn my face off.
Wow, but that's real, man. I mean, come on, man.
I ain't never lose. Like, after that, I became the #1 national champion in the world. I was like, oh, shit.
He says, there's some shit we got to iron out.
It takes that, you know, that you need somebody to spark you sometimes, you know what I mean? To me, that was my first time ever going on an airplane. Like, when I was a kid in that tournament,
Right.
That was my first time ever going on an airplane. So I went to Kansas City. So, like, I was happy to be on an airplane. I was happy to stay at a hotel. So I was happy just to be out of the town. Like, to me, it was a vacation. So when I lost, it's like I didn't care because I was just happy to, you know, I seen the kids going in the pool. Like, it was like a heated pool. I saw kids eating food, so I was doing the same thing. I was like, I'm gonna join them, man. It's a vacation now. So, but you know, when you're young, you don't realize the value of a dollar. You don't realize
Exactly.
how hard it is. You know, your parents work to take care of you. So I didn't realize none of that stuff because my parents always tried their best to take care of me. So I didn't realize it. But as I got older, then I realized that he's right. Keep wasting his money. I gotta make something happen for myself. And that's when everything changed for me in boxing.
Nah, so pretty much what you're saying is that's one of the moments where the light really came on in your head because you was too young to really realize the business part of it. You know what I mean? So I definitely understand that. Man. So, hey, that's the little princess in the back. I saw a princess. I saw Philly in the back. What up, Philly? What up, Philly? That's the scene stealer right there. Little Philly in the back. Yo, Danny, man. So look, let's take it to this, man. I want to get to this. I want to get to November. You start training. You go through your amateur career. You fight. You start knowing fighters. You start, becoming who you are. I'm going to take it to November 17th, 2007. All of the training that you did, everything that Angel prepped you with, everything that your brother, everything, the blood, sweats, and tears comes down to your first fucking professional fight. Walk us into what goes on in the dressing room and everything before you walk into the ring.
I remember my first professional fight. Everyone, because in the amateurs you got a headgear on, you got a t-shirt on, and the gloves are smaller than the pros. So the amateurs, the gloves are bigger. So everyone was telling me, "Yo, it hurts." You know what I'm saying? Because there's no headgear, it's no t-shirt. The gloves are smaller, so it's hurting. So a lot of people telling me that. So I remember I wasn't nervous because I knew I couldn't fight. I was just nervous because people telling me it hurts. And it was different. But I was just really nervous. Like if you see the fight, I was really nervous. I was stiff. I knocked the dude out in like a minute, 8 seconds.
Yeah. The boxer's name was Mike Denby. I made sure. Yeah, it was Mike Denby. You beat the shit out of him. He beat the motherfucker so bad it looked like the ring girl wanted to end the fight.
Minute 38. He knocked him out first round. Minute 38.
It was first round, like 68 seconds.
Second round, they forgot to put the mouthpiece in. Second round.
Nah, it's first round, OG. How much you gonna bet?
Oh, they forgot to put the mouthpiece in his mouth. I ain't betting. He don't pay.
Nah, you don't pay. You talking about he don't bet me because I don't pay. You don't pay. You know how much bet I won against him? Yo, I won like every bet against him. He never paid me. He owed me like 100,000.
So
as long as I owe him, he never be broke.
he always got money coming, right, Angel? He always got a check out.
Yeah, that's in the bank right there.
Owe me that.
Yeah.
So let's take it up. Let's so you have your other fights. You making a name out of yourself. You know what I mean? You're using your speed, but you got this power. You got that, you know what I mean? You can hit from outside, but you can take it to the hole at the same time. You're starting to make a name for yourself. I believe it was on a Floyd Mayweather, Ricky Hatton undercard.
Yeah.
Where you had one of your next biggest fights.
Yeah, that was a big opener. Eye opener for me too that night.
What's your recollection of that?
Because I remember, right? That was my second pro fight. So I remember they gave me when you're a prospect in your contract, they give you 6 tickets, so you want to watch the fight afterwards. I remember they gave me 6 tickets, like it was in the nosebleeds though, like far up in the nosebleeds. And I remember when Mayweather and Hatton was in there, like it was a sold out arena. The crowd was going crazy. The atmosphere was crazy, right? So I just look around. I go like this. I look around the arena and I say, damn, I got a long way to go. Wow. Like that's the only thing that went in my mind. I was like, I got everything I've done in my career, I got a long way to go. Cause the way they sold this out and the atmosphere and the level of this, I was like, I got a long way to go. And then like years later, like I was selling out arenas, but I remember that really set off a light in my head too.
Yo, I wanted to ask you something because we all know that like when boxers train, when they go into training, that they can't they abstain from having sex, right? Did you ever say did you ever be like, nah?
And don't lie, because I saw your wife just walk in the back, right, so she gonna answer the truth.
Did you ever be like you?
That was one of the twins.
Oh, that was one of the twins. Oh, yeah. Okay.
They getting grown.
Yeah, they getting grown. They grown.
Nah.
Did you ever say, you know what, I can't wait, you know what I mean, and feel and go ahead and do it and feel the results and know why you ain't supposed to do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is an exclusive, Danny. This is an exclusive.
Yeah, I dumped a few times a week before the fight. Look. All right, yo,
answer that question, boy?
listen, hold on, time out.
Can I answer that question?
Hold on, let me.
Yeah.
Let
me answer that.
No, let me tell you some real shit though, right?
Go ahead.
So every time I do weight a lot, I don't knock nobody out. When I fought Amir Khan, I did like a week and a half. I remember a week and a half. I did it by mistake. You know what I'm saying? I did like one of the moments he just said, like, yo, you just slipping in by mistake. Yeah. And then like a week later, I knock him dead. Like I killed him. and then I do like another one. I do like 5 or 6 weeks, right? And then I'll go 12 rounds. I'll be like, time out. Something clicking up here. I don't know if I should have sex or just
Now you in between. You ain't really sure. Yeah. You ain't really sure.
He's always gonna say that. Well, fighter's always gonna make excuses, because you don't take that from a guy. Like a female is like that's something you need.
Right.
You walk around like a man.
Yeah.
When you don't have sex, you mad as shit all day.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'll be pissed.
Exactly.
I need that.
It gives you extra rage. That extra rage.
No, but the thing about fighters,
I read this study where they say that's a lie.
Let me answer.
They say it's a lie. It's
listen,
all
that's all bullcrap. Listen, you try yourself. Listen, let me tell you something. You try
What's that,
yourself.
Angel?
Don't have sex for about a week. You don't need a month, 3 months. You need 2 weeks at least.
Shit, I don't have sex in a month. I don't have sex in a week. I'm ready to kick a puppy.
That's what I'm saying. But what happens is God made us so perfect that when you don't have sex, you have a wet dream, so you still unload.
Your body, it's the same thing as having sex.
Listen,
if you really believing.
You know how you test that? Don't have sex for a week and go like hand wrestle somebody. But he got to then have sex and go hand wrestle the guy.
Hand wrestle somebody?
Yo,
you're gonna see the difference.
You want to hear something
crazy?
The
difference?
Okay. I know when he does it. When I did a dipper in all your pan. I know when he does it. When he's quiet, he be looking like he's there, but he's not. Like,
wow.
No, it's a lot of times they accused me and I was innocent though.
I know when he put that little dippy somewhere.
Now listen to this, right?
I say little because I think little.
Yo, Angel getting his own bottle. Angel getting his own bottle, yo. Matter of fact, Angel getting the case.
My shit little. My shit hit shit little.
No, listen.
The apple don't fall far from the tree.
No, listen. I'm not saying it's little.
It don't fall far from the tree.
I didn't say it was little. I said when he was a little kid, I see the teepee.
Yo, Danny, we'll edit that for you. We'll edit that for you.
That's all good.
And another thing about the bottle,
I make beautiful
babies. But didn't offer me a shot.
I make beautiful babies.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Yo, so
yo, Angel, man, you crazy, man. You crazy.
Listen, I did a study on that, right? So I thought testosterone. Listen, I thought testosterone.
I did a study on it.
I did.
He's a doctor now. What the fuck wrong with
I did a study. I thought testosterone was in your sperm.
Right.
It's not.
It's not?
No, it's not.
It's in the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with sperm. So it's fake.
Yo, I'm not to believe that lie. Listen, so far, give a good example.
Yo, that is wild, Danny, that you said the times that you did do it made you more ferocious in the ring.
Yeah.
That's on his mind. Listen.
It's not in my mind because I don't think about it.
The wall of the heavyweight. He said he had sex the day before his fight. So he said in an interview. I'm not talking what I'm thinking. That's what he said.
Right.
I'm saying I say what fighters say. So basically, what comes out of your mouth, that's what I'm gonna say.
Gotcha.
I'm not gonna say lies. I'm not gonna say lies about you. He said he had sex with his wife the day before his fight all the time in his camp, everything. Why you think his legs always looked like jello?
Listen, it worked.
Why you think the white boy beat the fuck out of him?
It worked 40 times.
It was just a matter of time that shit caught up to him.
It worked 40
It was
times.
just a matter of time that shit caught up to you. This shit turned into jelly. You fucking had jelly legs.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, bro.
That's the myth. That's the big thing that everybody talks about with that, is that it makes your legs weak. And you need every advantage that you can have when you're going against another world-class fighter. Which takes me to something that I wanted to bring, Danny. When you really got on my radar was, I remember when HBO was bigging up Amir Khan. You know what I mean? That was their guy. They were him and Victor Ortiz. They were bigging him up. That was the future of HBO. I remember I lived in Rancho Cucamonga, California. That's where they shot Next Friday at. I didn't even think that was a real city till I moved out there.
Yeah, it is.
I was smoking and drinking in the backyard, had the TV set up, and I'm watching the fight, right? And I said, something about this DG, this Danny Garcia dude that ain't gonna be a walkover with Amir. HBO was building him up, but they setting him up for failure, but they don't know he's the goods. And when you caught him, that moment, I was like, yo, you fucking changed the whole playing field with that fight.
Yeah, that's the fight that really, it changed my life. But HBO didn't like me at that point. Because I remember, first I beat Morales for the title, but that was Morales' HBO date. And
right.
Then when I beat Khan, that was his HBO date. So I beat 2 HBO fighters in the same year for their belts. And that's when I became unified champion. But if you notice, my very next fight was on Showtime.
Right, but before you even go there, Danny, let's go to the Eric Morales fight. Because Eric Morales was, a legendary fighter. It was another time that they were setting you up, to be the fall guy.
Right.
And actually, that was the fight before Amir Khan, which made me want to watch you fight Amir Khan to see if it was a fluke or this dude is the real. You know what I mean? Because me being from New York, there's Zab Judah and then all of this other shit. And I was like, yo, this dude is the next one right here. And when you beat him in that fucking fight, you got, you had the regular Puerto Rican versus a Mexican fighter thing. So the energy was already there. What do you remember about that fight? What's the biggest memory you have of that fight?
To me, to this day, like that was my hardest fight. The first one.
Mm-hmm.
My nose was swollen. He cut me. Mm-hmm. It was just a young guy going into an experienced fighter, experienced champion who's been.
Yeah, he used all the tricks on you that fight. Exactly. All the tricks.
So that fight was hard for me mentally, not really physically, because he was so smart. And he set so many traps and things like that. He was just real experienced fighter, like with great feints, great combinations, doesn't let you rest in between punches. So he did a lot of things that I use today on fighters. Like
right. So you learned a lot. You learned a lot in that fight.
Yeah. I learned the things he was doing to me in that fight. I do to fighters these days.
You got to realize Eric Morales was 59 fights into his professional career there. So he was using everything else to the young buck. Yeah. So that fight right there. So you had that fight. You had the Amir Khan fight. So then we get to the rematch of the Eric Morales fight. So now the Barclays is open. Now you got a home closer to home. You know what I mean? So now you become the sellout king. This is the beginning of you becoming a sellout king at the Barclays. Yes, Eric Morales. Now, the thing before the Eric Morales fight was that he tested positive for some enhancers. So he knew that you was already bringing the goods.
Right.
So so the fight was almost canceled. Yeah. But from what I understand, you decided to go ahead with the fight anyway after a little bit of time.
Yeah, that was like my first real payday. I was like, shit.
You don't want to give up that purse. That's what I was going to say.
I already had my money spent in my head. I was like, fuck that. Look,
I remember that. Too.
I've been in street fights, so this ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? So
that was the beginning of you starting to make $1 million, 1.5 per fight. You know what I mean? And then
that was my first $1 million check. So I was like, when they told me I was making $1 million, I was like, yo. I was so happy, you know what I'm saying? So,
but the thing about it, Danny, is you can see the growth with you in that fight. It reminded me of Joe Louis, like when Joe Louis lost to Max Schmeling the first fight. That was a whole world thing. But you had that mentality in that fight where that was like the next round from the first fight, and you beat the shit out of him in the rematch. You know what I mean? Like you learned a lot from that first fight.
Exactly. So, like what I noticed from the first fight was that he had this certain attack that he was getting me with, but I couldn't catch it. And he was hitting me and I couldn't see what. So when I went and I watched the first tape, I was like, oh, I know what he's doing. So the second fight, I was like, all right, when he does this, I'm gonna do that. So basically I just made some adjustments and then boom, I was able to catch him and knock him out.
Nice. Yeah. So check it out. So you sell out the Barclays, right? This becomes your MGM here, right? They got Danny Jacobs, who's, the local guy, Kid Chocolate, things like that. Then you have the next fight, which made all the sense in the world for Danny to fight Zab Judah. You know what I mean? Zab was, he's the Brooklyn guy. You've showed that you could do numbers there. Then it becomes big. I remember the press for that. I remember Pops Angel getting involved in
crazy. Zab was pulling up on us everywhere, pulling up on us everywhere.
It was almost getting disrespectful.
In Brooklyn, he pulling up everywhere on us. This is some real. This got real at one point, but you know, it's all part of the journey. You know what I mean? We knew he was in his hometown, so
and I remembered in that fight, that was the first time that I seen, even though you got cut in the Morales fight, I remember you really, is that when you had the cut in the middle of the head, the headbutts, right?
Stitches, on my forehead. It happened in the 12th round, headbutt.
What goes on in the fighter's head when that happens? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I'm on stage and I'm doing a set, you know, sometimes there's something distracting, the mic is fucked up, there's something, people arguing over a bill. When you're a fighter and you have a guy literally trying to knock you the fuck out, standing in front of you, when you have a cut like that, what's going on through a boxer's head?
At first, it just felt like a stinging, like it was like a sting. You know what I mean? Like it felt like it was just like a pinch on my forehead. But then I knew it was a cut when I felt it trickling down. You know what I mean? You really don't feel the cut, like it just feels like a impact, right? And it just feels like a pinch. And sometimes there's a cut, sometimes it's not. But that, when he hit me, boom, I felt like it was like a real bad stinging on my forehead. And then when I started moving around, that's when it started trickling down. But when you fighting, it's like it don't exist. You know what I mean? Because your adrenaline's pumping. You're not really worried about the cut, and you just worrying about fighting.
You just worried about what's in front of you at that point.
Yeah, and when you sparring, right?
Exactly.
Like is that because there's time like you being a, you know, like being a caliber fighter, you got all kind of cats coming to spar with you and stuff like that. Do you ever see a young cat coming up that you know is gonna be a good fighter, but you like, I'm not gonna show him too much because I might gotta fight him one day or something like that? Or is it just all like, do you just go all out and just try to?
I mean, sometimes I only sparred one dude that I fought. You know what I mean? Like before, and then I fought him. But other than that, I never really fought nobody. But a lot of people I sparred became world champions. But also I sparred a lot of people who I thought was gonna be world champions. They just spar good and can't. When the lights are on, they can't fight. You know what I mean? It's like a comedian.
That's real shit right there. That's real shit.
Good. A comedian can practice good when nobody looking, but then when it's time to go out there and perform, they freeze up. So boxing's like that too, where a lot of guys look great in the gym, but then when it's time to go out there and fight under them lights, they freeze up and they just can't. They can't perform.
See, now that's a great segue into what my next question is, Rich. Or next, I don't even want to call it a question. Let's call this a conversation. You know, so right now, after that, you know, you beat Zab, you know what I mean? So you people are stepping in front of you and you are doing what you need to do. Money's going up, profile's going up. You know, now you're top 10, making your way to the top 5. Now, the boogeyman comes up, Louis Matisse. That way he's knocking everybody the fuck. What he had, like 35 fights, 32 knockouts, some shit, some crazy number like that. He's the boogeyman. There's always a boogeyman in there. And that fight, Danny, and I'm not just saying this because I have you here, that fight, you know, there's certain levels. Like when you watch Floyd fight, I remember when he got hurt against.
That was on Canelo's undercard, Floyd and Canelo. I was the co-main event.
Right, that was on the Canelo undercard. Yes, it was. It was.
Floyd. I was the co-main on that.
Right, and there are times like when I watched Floyd fight Mosley, when he got hurt by Mosley, he got caught in the second round. His adjustments that he made, and he came back, let you go, this dude can box, he can fight. Yeah. When you went against Matisse, who's a slugger, he was the knockout dude. That fight showed me a lot about you. I was like, yo, this dude is the real. What's your thoughts to that? And that, what did you walk away with that particular fight, man?
Like that fight, I knew in my head, like I was the better fighter, but he had the momentum. Even though I was the champion, for some reason, he had the momentum because he was knocking everybody out. The way he was knocking everybody out was like, yo, this dude's crazy. You know what I mean? Nobody wanted to fight him. Richard Schaefer, the CEO of Golden Boy, said that nobody wanted to fight him. And the only person that wanted to fight him was me when I fought him. So, you know, I was the underdog 3-1, but I knew I was the better fighter, and I went in there like a true champion, and I defended my titles.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So after that, you know, after that fight, that fight, man, just took you to another stratosphere. That's when things just started getting crazy. That's when people started talking about you fighting Floyd and Floyd handpicking who.
I thought I was going to fight Floyd. I thought I was going to fight Floyd after that because I thought that was the whole reason I was on the undercard was he was the winner, I was the winner. and set up for another big fight. But the fight never happened. You know, it's cool. It is what it is. Floyd's Floyd. He gonna do what he want. You feel me?
Yeah, and that's one thing I always see. You always give a lot of love to give a lot of respect. Let me say to Floyd, because you know, real respect's real. And one thing about Floyd is he worked his way to be able to call his shots for what he was doing and all that other stuff. But at the end of that year, you became fighter of the year because you didn't dodge anybody. You became known as this dude that, yo, I'm not scared of nobody. If I fucking lose, I lose. And this is the part about boxing that makes me the most upset, is that Floyd put this thing into boxing that if you lost, if you, he did this whole thing undefeated. And and I come from an era with Sugar Ray and Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, when they fought Hector Camacho, when they lost, you didn't give a fuck. You just want to see them fight it 4 months later.
Because you want them to see the fight the best. You feel me? And a great fight, you know? And then, you know, that's all I want to do. You feel me? I always want to win. Like, I love winning. And I never thought that I would lose. You feel me? Even when I was undefeated, when I was 33-0, you know, when I was a 2-division world champion, I never pictured myself losing, you know what I mean? It's just something that happened. You know what I'm saying? It happened. But like Ali even said it. He said, I never pictured myself losing, but it happened. And
like you don't see yourself getting old too.
And you gotta live with it and keep going. At the end of the day, it's just a sport, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it took me a long time to realize that, because this could really ruin your personal life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like you're a comedian and you have a bad night and people start booing you. That's gonna ruin your damn night. It's gonna ruin you. It might ruin you for the rest of the year.
Exactly.
But if you say, look, this is being a comedian. Now I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna just be, I'm gonna be Rob Stapleton. I'm gonna be myself. You feel me?
It's just one day.
Yeah. So I learned how to just separate them. You know, as hard as it is, you know, and that's one thing I learned about, you know, just being an entertainer. You're an entertainer, but at the end of the day, you got to be a normal life too.
Exactly. And I think that's why so many people respect Pacquiao, because even with the L, he's going to come back. He's going to be a payday and he's going to be an attraction. You know what I mean? Right. Like, to me, the fight against Thurman, to me, that was a win, even though technically it was a loss. It was, to me, it was a fucking, what the fuck did you do to keep Thurman that he was never the same again after that fucking fight? What the fuck did you do to keep Thurman, man? He's still on timeout. He's still on timeout.
I know I broke his arm. I broke his arm, but see what a lot of people don't understand, right? Like, it takes a lot of mental strength to fight me. You know what I mean? Because I'm one of the people who never give up, and I'm just always coming and I'm fighting, like mentally and physically. So I think it's some people can recover from that, like that mental battle, and some people can't. You feel me? And I feel like he's one of the people who couldn't like keep up that same momentum. You know what I mean? Because I always said in the sport of boxing it's like longevity. You feel me? Like, it don't matter who you beat or who you lost to. If like 10 years from now you ain't got nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like I see all these young fighters. Yeah, they doing their thing. But 10 years after boxing, if you ain't got nothing, then everything you've done in boxing don't even matter. You feel me?
As far as like watching fight tape, you know, like basketball players, football, they watch a lot of tape. As far as for you, do you like with your fights, people you're gonna fight, and just watching boxers that came before you? How much fight tape do you watch?
I watch tape. I don't watch a lot, but I watch tape like as a kid. I mean, I'm a boxing fan, so I always watch boxing. You know what I'm saying? So I know all the fighters, weight classes, and all that because I'm a student of the game. You feel me? And yeah, I watch tapes because that's how you get better. And you gotta see something of your opponent. You know what I mean? Because you gotta be able to like picture yourself in the ring with you fighting him. So that's why I watch a lot of tapes, just to picture myself in front of his style and doing things like that.
Okay. So let me ask you, when you in the fight, like now that, you know, your next couple of fights that'll be coming up, and, you know, I think the fighting game is just so interesting now. You know what I mean? You know, everyone's talking Crawford and Spence and all that other stuff. And then, you know, you got Pacquiao, it's very interesting. It's very interesting what the welterweight is. And I'm gonna talk about you moving up to 154 is what I'm hearing. Yeah. That's what the streets are saying right now. We'll talk about that
I'm tired of losing weight. You know what I'm saying? I've been losing weight my whole life.
What's your walk around weight? Dude?
My walk around weight is like 175. Yeah. Now I used to walk around like at 162, 163.
I think Spence, don't he swell up to 190?
I think my bones, you know what I'm saying, my body got bigger. So, and I'm getting older.
Yeah.
Your natural weight going to increase as you get older. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, for sure. Your bones get denser and your metabolism slows down a little bit. So, and I think at this point in my life, like in my boxing career, I feel like losing weight is actually hurting me. It's hurting my performance. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to train just to lose weight. You want to feel strong. You want to feel great. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's about skill anyway. Yes. You ain't got skill, you can't win at no weight.
Right.
So what I want to go is into the rings. You know, fuck the opponents. We talked about who you fought. If anybody want to know, Google it. Google it. If you don't know, you know, a lot of new people watching you that know. And one thing I want to say, Danny, I've never seen you and Klay Thompson in a room together. There's a rumor that you're the same person. What the fuck's going on with that, man?
I don't know, man. I like Klay Thompson, you feel me? But I think he stole my drip, yo. I was out first. I was a world champion in 2012. You know?
Right.
Yeah, so when he pulled that Achilles, everyone was calling you.
Look, if you look at all my young pictures when I was like younger, like 18, 17, when I already had this, you feel me? So it's funny, that's crazy. We kind of do look alike. We do look a lot alike. But I'm a fan of him, you know what I'm saying? Keep doing your thing, but you know, I own this drip. I ain't changing. Right. You gotta come see me to watch this drip.
Well, I know that's something that you hear a lot. You know what I mean?
Every day. Yeah. Yo, I used to hate when people say I look like people. Like, am I the only person like that? When somebody say you look like somebody, that don't get you mad.
Yeah. I hate when a motherfucker tell me I look like somebody that I don't look nothing like. You know what I mean?
So, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna go stand next to Klay Thompson. He like 10 foot. I'm like 5'8". I'm like, yo, y'all still we look like. I'm gonna stand here. Y'all still think we look like you all the way up there, and I'm down here.
All right. So before we go into stuff that you do with outside the ring, just take us people, man. You know, because I'm one of these people. I feel like boxing doesn't get enough coverage on ESPN and shit like that. You know, you watch basketball, you see football. You know, if you're not fully into the science of boxing, you really don't get to know some of the other shit. So make your audience that's listening knows what goes on. In between rounds, are you fucking really listening to your corner in between rounds? I know your father is your trainer, so it might be hard to say. Tell Angel to go make a sandwich or something. Notice.
Don't listen no more.
I knew you was coming, Angel.
Listen,
you can answer that.
Listen, you know when you get older, you think you know it all.
Yeah.
But no, see, before I was the boss. Now he the boss.
Hey.
I'm like Michael Corleone, man. I thought you were leave alone, right? Like, come on, man.
Angel, I fucking love you, man.
What do I trust me? That's all.
You gotta do another.
That's the Danny Montana right there. That's the Danny Montana right there. Yeah.
No, you should do a funny movie, like Tony Montana funny.
Hell yeah. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking that's another conversation, Angel.
Yo, listen, you know what it is?
Nah,
you don't listen for shit. That should be deaf ears.
I'll be listening.
Next time
Angel, I would think that is hard, man, because he's trying to fight the man. He's trying to fight the man that's trying to knock him out, and he's trying to listen to your father at the same time.
Well,
and you got 59 seconds to get this shit done before you got to go back out again.
But I try to tell him basic things where the guy is sucker for. So I give it to him simple. I'll be like, use your right hand more. That means the guy's a sucker for that. But the thing is trying it. If you don't try it, then you don't know if it's going to work.
True.
So that's when the fight is going to deaf ears, because they're going to a zone. They zone into it. Like your body, remember, you got somebody in front of you trying to kill you. Physically killing you to death. So that's the name of the game, is to kill you. If you never read about 18th century boxing, they used to go 50 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Jack Johnson went 25 rounds on a baseball field. They used to have under the sun.
Yeah, Jack Johnson and them used to fight like that. Yep.
Then when you got hurt, they picked you back up and threw you back in till you got knocked out cold. So the game to this is to beat you down, to kill you.
Right.
That's what people got to, like you said earlier, just because you lose doesn't make you a bad fighter. You got to respect the fighter just because he put the gloves on.
Angel, let me ask you a question since you're standing there with Danny. How many fighters, what percentage of fighters you think are able to steal around with just that last 30 seconds when the judges are in between?
Judges, you gotta look at a lot of fighters do it. If nobody throws shot through the whole round, like the last fight Danny had, Spence was doing that, stealing the rounds in 30 seconds. Because I don't know, it's a long story. We'll talk about that another time. Because this fucking bullshit Corona shit that's going on, it took a toll in the camp and all. It was a lot of shit that went on.
A lot of shit, a lot of factors.
With this bullshit Corona shit, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know if it's man-made, government-made, whatever the hell it is, a lie.
Yeah.
Under a lot of quarantine and shit, a lot of bullshit that went on. You got to walk around making sure that everybody's listening, going home, make sure they stay in by the next day. They come in. Nobody's getting contaminated. So it was a lot of shit that went on mentally. You can't.
Right. So like you had to, during that fight, didn't you have to, weren't you once sequestered? Like, didn't you have to stay on your floor in the hotel?
I was in my hotel room for like a week straight.
Yeah.
I remember when I walked outside and I smelled fresh air, I got weak. I was like, oh shit.
It felt like you got some pussy.
Yeah, real shit. I was like, my legs got wobbly. I was like, oh shit. I feel like I was out of the earth for a while and shit.
That shit was like prison, bro.
Look, I went to a little ass hotel room into this big ass arena outside. Like, I was like, yo, this is crazy.
How often was they testing? Was they testing every day?
Yeah.
They was testing every day.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So I know they fought in Texas. You had a lot of balls to leave Brooklyn to go out there to fight in Texas. I didn't think Angel was going to allow that to happen, but both of you agreed. And it was a business. I understand the business side of why you did that. But explain to the public, when you're fighting and it's not a full, does it feel like a spar session that's extra serious? Or because the crowd, like, explain that.
Yeah, well, the Texas thing, I never really agreed to that. But in order for the fight to happen, that's the only place, because
state was open.
That was the only place that was open.
That's true.
For fans.
That's true.
At that time during the pandemic. So, but I'm a big name fighter, just like he's a big name fighter. So I felt like, 50-50, let's do this in Vegas or LA, blah, blah, blah. Those places were closed. So I said, you know what? It's all cool. I've been here before. You know what I'm saying? I'll go to his backyard and I'll go to fight him. Because that really don't matter anyway. All you got to do is rumble and do whatever. But at the end of the day, like I said before, it was a team decision to go over there and do it. And
right. I thought that was huge. I thought that was big of you, man. Like, people don't give you that dap for doing that, because the fight would have just been off if you just said, nah, like we signed for this. You know what I mean?
The fight wouldn't have happened. The fight wouldn't have happened if I didn't fight in Texas, because in order for that fight to happen, we needed fans and we needed pay-per-view buys. You take the gate away, that's a big loss in revenue. There were 16,500 people there, believe it or not.
Exactly. The biggest fight other than that was the Thurman fight, and I remember that was on CBS and Showtime, and I never saw no shit like that before.
Exactly. So I hold the Thurman fight. I hold the record at the Barclays because of that. 16,500 people. But Texas,
I'm at every fucking fight, so I know.
Texas Stadium holds 100-some thousand, but because of COVID, it was only 10%.
I hate Texas got that open scoring. I hate that shit. Texas got that open scoring, so
I don't think they had it for our fight though, for some reason.
Or they did, for real.
Houston, El Paso, Texas.
Yeah, one of those Texas.
It's El Paso. Open.
Oh, okay.
You know your shit.
First 4 rounds. So you know your first 4 rounds, who's winning?
You know your shit, man.
Yeah, come on, man. I fuck with this, Danny. I told you when I met you, I know my shit. Like I'm on that boxing shit. You know what I mean? That's why it was a pleasure to work with you. That's why when we did the movie, I sent the acting coach out to you. I didn't want to put you in no situation where you wasn't gonna look good. You know what I mean? And then when I met you, everything was on par. Pops was Pops. Your brother was cool as fuck. Like, I had nothing but respect for you. You know what I mean? For everything. So that brings me up, man. Before we let you go, Danny, let's talk about what you got going on, man. You got the Fire clothing line, the DSG, but you ain't sent me a box of shit yet.
Hold on. Before we do that, because that's the when we get into the drip, that's the major.
That drip.
Yeah. Oh, we seen it. I seen it with the camouflage. With the camouflage.
I gotta pour a drink for that. I gotta pour a drink for it.
I saw when Pop showed up with the camouflage. I was like, man, we need to get some of them to wear. I saw.
What kind of liquor is that?
Oh, this right here. This is Blue Royale.
It's a mix of rum and tequila. We got a couple of bottles coming to you. We got a couple of bottles.
I see you right there drinking. You ain't offered me a shot yet.
Oh yeah, I know. We had supposed to have gotten the bottles to y'all beforehand. That's our fault,
Yeah,
Andrew.
we was trying to send it for the show.
I overlooked it.
So again. You fucked up again.
You got our word. They'll be in the mail. It's coming to you. It's coming. But not when you training, though. But not when you training. You know what I mean?
I wanted to ask this though, cause like you a fighter, use your hands. When was there a time that you was in the ring and you hit somebody and knocked them out, but when you hit him, you was like, I know he out of here. You know what I'm saying?
That was the Khan fight, probably.
I'm gonna keep it G, right? I'm gonna keep it G. Most times when I hit people and then I go to swing again, they be on the floor. I'm like, oh shit. Like when you knock somebody, like when you knock somebody out, you never know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You land it, but you don't know like until it's done. So
Right.
most of the time,
I think what's that dude named Granados? Granados?
Granados, yeah.
Oh my God! You hit that motherfucker so hard, the clocks went back an hour.
Right. He knew. He knew he got hit. You didn't.
Rosaka too.
I knocked his head into the third row.
I think y'all got a bottle of this shit already. This shit match your shirt, Danny. This shit matches Danny's shirt. Look at this.
We got to talk about that drip too.
Yeah, so let's talk about the DSG line, man. So Danny, you know you're a walking brand. So I think that was brilliant. You know, comics, after we finish our shows, we sell merch, but you taking it to the next level, man. So where did that come together? And that logo was fire.
Yeah, well, me and Pops actually started the DSG shirts like
nice.
Back in 2011 or 10. But it said Danny Garcia. It never said DSG. We just started making shirts, print them, selling merch. And then, you know what's crazy? What really inspired me to make my own brand was, a lot of people don't know, right? In 2013, I just had a Jordan deal. I just signed a Jordan. Yeah, I had a Jordan deal.
In 2013?
Yeah, I had a Jordan deal. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I didn't have my brand at that time. So that was my first official deal, but I had lost the deal because I was in a music video with somebody else and they was talking about guns and drugs and all that stuff. You feel me?
Right.
So I understand zero tolerance, blah, 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 bang, got the deal, lost it like a month later.
Damn.
So I was like,
they call that product placement. The placement was at the wrong thing, and all right.
But this was before I even signed them. This is old. They just went looking. They just went looking for old stuff. You feel me?
Wow.
Okay.
So, yeah, I went.
Do you want to say which rapper it is? You want to say what rapper it is or no?
Oh no. It's like my shit. Like my music.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Around, you know, I'm trying.
I got you.
Really, I rap in a box, but this is back in the day.
Okay.
I don't do no more. I got the music label now, but I don't do no more. But I
actually saw the podcast you did with your man that put you on with the studio. You had your man that put you on. I forgot his name, but he had a podcast and he was the one that translated to your sisters getting into it. And you took that, you know what I mean? Which was dope. But
yo, we need to get a song for the episode. We need to get a song to play.
I'm gonna tell you some stuff. I got some dope shit. But long story short, when I went to Jordan, it was one guy who wasn't there. He wasn't there. He was on vacation with his family. I met the whole Jordan staff and they loved me. But the one guy who wasn't there, when he came back, he said, "Who is this kid?" Looked him up. First thing he saw was the video, first impression. Boom.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so bang. So he didn't get to meet me in person. So his first impression was like, what if my daughter sees this? You know what I'm saying? So he hit me with that joint. And I was like, you know what, it's cool. And it wasn't really a lot of money anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was just more like, I'm with Jordan, it's get people hype. You know, it's one of the marketing schemes and shit. So, but it wasn't a lot of money. It was like 10,000 for a patch. I'm like, something like that. So
but Danny, people don't realize, man, at that time, you in your 20s, you getting it. You coming from Philly, you trying to get the bag, man. You know, you don't mean nothing bad. You ain't shooting nobody out on the street. You ain't never been attached to that type of shit.
Because I never been in trouble. I never did anything so that kind of hurt me at that point. I worked my whole life to keep a clean image. I don't have no tattoos, not getting in trouble. Like I walked the straight line. So when that happened, I was like, damn, that's crazy. But that's when DSG came. I'm like, look, they was giving me 10 grand. I know I could sell 10 grand in t-shirts. You never know. DSG could be the next Jordan in 30 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so he started like that one day. So that's what really inspired me to start my own DSG brand. That's when I created the logo, DSG. You know what I'm saying? That's when I just went hard on it because I was like, you know what?
And then you fuck around and drop one video where you was fucking around with it and the shit went viral.
Yeah.
Where you had the silk shit. Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, people started liking the Danny Montana videos. And that's when I did like the collar shirts, like the Scarface vibe.
Yeah.
And boom, that joint sold out like in a week. So
crazy because it looked mad expensive, but it's affordable for people to look good for, you know what I mean?
That's the main key. Like when I created my brand, I was like, my brand is gonna be great quality, but it's gonna be affordable. You feel me? Because I want people to like me. I love that's why I got a barbershop because I want people to look good. I want people to look sharp. You feel me?
Right. I remember that. I remember you telling me about that.
I used to be a barber. I
didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I used to cut all my friends in the neighborhood. I used to cut my pop, my brother, everyone. Sharp as
damn, Angel got you out there hustling.
Yeah. So I always, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I always get into the, you know what I'm saying? I was always an entrepreneur.
Yo, that is some Philly shit. That is some Philly shit. That is some Philly shit.
So that's why I created a barbershop because I like when having my friends. I used to hate when my friends had like a messed up haircut, make them look sharp. And then, with the clothes, I was like, you know what? People be spending all their money on like Louis Vuitton, Gucci. I understand it catch people attention and all that, but it don't cost nothing to make that.
Yes.
You feel me? Right. So you pay $1,000 for a shirt. There's a white T-shirt with a logo on it. When you could do that, you can make that yourself for $6.
Right. So Danny, so I know when you had lines like that, it sold out like in a couple of days or whatever, in a couple of weeks. Do you still have merch like that? Because I'm going to make sure we put that up so people can go on whatever.
Yeah. I just dropped another one. It's like a long sleeve collection. It's like the satin. It's like
nice.
It's Danny Montana collection. I still got a few sets left. It's almost sold out, but I got some merch on there. Like I'm always reading up on the inventory, but I got some satin jackets on there right now, like all pink, all blue, all black, black and white. So I got a lot of shit that looks real expensive, but it's great quality. Like everything is custom made. This ain't buying a T-shirt, putting a logo on it.
And that's on the website, right?
So, you know what I'm saying? So best quality, affordable prices. It's crazy you said that because that was always my mindset. I want to make it good.
It's right on the website, right? It's on your website, right?
Yeah, my website.
I went on there. I seen
dsgofficial.com.
I was surprised.
Right, we're gonna make sure that's on the bottom of the screen.
I was surprised when I went on the website because I saw you with different joints. So I'm like, okay, like that's enterprising. You know what I mean?
Now, Danny, the other thing before we get ready to let you go, first of all, we thank you for the time. You and Angel for the time. So look, man, I remember when I was talking to you when we were shooting the film, and I told you should really look to get into some acting, but behind this type. So I know you got the reality show, so the brand continues. You know what I mean? You got you, Pops, Mom, Dukes, and you got the sisters in a reality show, and there's no better way for people to know you from out of the ring in the reality of the Garcias. Let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about it.
People always say, yo, Danny, why you don't do a reality show? Your pop's crazy, your sisters, y'all all got like crazy personalities, you know what I mean? So why you never did it? But, I was just so focused on being the best boxer. I didn't want to distract myself. Like at one point in my career, I put everything away to the side. I said, I'm gonna just focus on boxing because I know this is what pays the bills. This is where the real money at. But, as everything kept going, I felt like, the time is now. I'm like, all right, let's do it now. So we had all these meetings with like Netflix, like everyone, every channel you could probably think about. We was in LA. They all turned us down.
Right.
Nobody. We didn't have a pilot.
No, it's like that. What they mean when they say that, they say no, but no means no right now. Yeah. And then a week or month later, they'll change their mind and grab you on the phone as if you never talked before. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, you know the name of the game. Nobody loves you till you hot.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the name of the game. Nobody's going to support you till, you're doing your thing. And I understand that. But, when we try to pitch that and no network liked it, it wasn't nothing to look at. They was just meeting us. But that's when I realized, I'm going to just do my own shit. Just like the Jordan situation.
Just like I did with the movie, did my own shit. There you go. Podcast, my own shit. There you go.
I'm gonna do your own thing because when this take off, it's all profit. Right. And I'm giving the people the real me. You feel me? And it's free. I'm not charging nobody. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's just one of them things where I just, you know, want to continue to build my brand, and people have been asking for it. You know what I mean? People, this is what the people wanted. So I'm giving the people what they wanted. They wanted a show, so I'm gonna give them the show.
Danny, yo, I think that's dope, man. You know, it's crazy, and I know this shit has to drive you crazy. You know, you got like, let me give you an example. You got people like Kevin Hart in my game, being a comedian, an actor. Kevin Hart, he has to walk this line. As soon as he fucks up, he got to recover, apologize, go on that whole joint. But then you get people like Cat Williams who can do this, fuck up, and then still get this. I say with Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner, all the talent in the world, but fucks up. You do one fuck up and they want to take a deal from you. You know what I mean? So you walk this fine line creating your brand, man. What do you got to say about that?
You know, it's just like I said, everyone has different paths. You know what I mean? Like, just because he did it that way, don't mean I could do it that way. So, you know, I built my brand off loyalty. You know what I mean? My brand is clean. I never did nobody wrong. I never burnt nobody. I never robbed nobody. I never hurt nobody. Like, my brand is built off loyalty. If you ask anybody that I've been around, never did nothing bad to them. You feel me? So everything I do is I'm just a straight shooter. Like Scarface said, like the guy in the movie, like Frank said in Scarface, you gotta shoot straight, man. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. Yo, I want to say,
the DSG brand is basically built of, you know, real loyalty, family, man. That's what we represent. You know what I'm saying? And we just building our own empire, you know, brick by brick.
Nah, no doubt.
Yo, I think I want to say this because this is my first time getting to talk to a boxer on any. Yo, I love the dynamic, the father and son dynamic between you two, because it's like one we all don't get to grow up with our father. It's another thing when we got a father that care, that's there, that's got your back like that. You know what I mean? I think that's a beautiful thing. And I always love to see it in boxing. I think all the best boxers are the ones that, you know, that got the real corners behind them and stuff like that. And so to have your pops have your back like that, I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Now, that's real talk. That's real talk, man. People don't realize how important the trainer is, man. And your pops and all that shit. They don't realize he's your eyes for you while you in your ring. He has your back.
It's been a journey, just like, you know, all of us, man. I've been boxing for 23 years. You know what I mean? So you gotta understand how 120 amateur fights for free.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
I didn't make money till I really beat Eric Morales, and that wasn't really money. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I really earned my stripes in this game, and just like, you know, I just been keep going, man. I can't.
And Danny, I totally get it.
We taking over everything now. Clothing lines, barbershop, reality shows, everything.
Everything.
A couple of questions, Danny. Before you get out of here, I'm going to respect your time, man. Who the fuck is Al Heyman? Like, we all know who Al Heyman is as a promoter or whatever, but Al Heyman, his influence with boxers, I don't want you to badmouth him here. Just his control of the PBC. I
was like, I'm badmouth.
You know, let me put it like this. A lot of podcasts try to bait somebody on there to set them up for whatever. You know, I want this podcast to have receipts. What we say, we really mean, because it's fucking factual. You know what I mean? We all know the name Al Heyman, but he's the dude that you don't see. Everybody thought Al Heyman was the other dude that's always in the ring all the time, that has the beard. Sam. Everybody thought Sam was. He's like fucking Casa Sosa from.
That's my family. Brandon and Marcus, they like my brothers from another. But you, man, Al Heyman, he's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Because Floyd talks him up. Floyd loves him. I never hear a bad word about him. I just want to hear what Danny Garcia has to say. I never met
so much a person who made so many people rich.
Yeah, all his fighters are rich.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's a great guy. I really can't say nothing bad about him. Like, he's just, man, he changed my life. Like, it's two people in my life that changed my life. You know what I'm saying? 3 people who changed my life. One is my dad, one is Al Heyman, and the next one is my daughter. They all changed my life. And these are
beautiful. Like, hey, right on cue.
He's like, oh,
Yo, I'm just so happy you not signed with Top Rank, man. That whole Top Rank thing. I'm so happy that you taking the plight that you on. So Danny, on getting out of here, 154. That's the move we're gonna make. 154. What we doing? We gonna fuck with the David Benitez's and that.
No, they up like one.
Yeah, that's up another level up.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So, but yeah. I mean, like I said, I want to go to 154, but if there's a fight I can't deny at 147, then I'll do 147. I can still make 147, but I want to start a new chapter in my career. You know what I'm saying? I want to do like how Cotto did it, 140, 147, 154, or like how Trinidad did it, 140, 147, 154. I want to be in the list of those greats. You know what I'm saying?
Right. What the fuck do you think about Oscar De La Hoya coming back? You knew I was gonna say that?
No, I was gonna tell you, tell Oscar we fight him at 160 on his comeback.
Oscar don't want that smoke. Oscar do not want that smoke.
At 160, we'll go all the way to 160 for him.
Yeah. I see Marquez and what you call him, Cotto gonna fight an exhibition. Yeah. Exhibitions ain't exhibition. This just is real fights.
Yeah, but they like, yo, these people making all these money on fights that don't count.
Money, bro.
That's what it was. They in it for the bag.
Fight a fight that don't count and probably make more money than I ever made in my life.
Yo, these young shit
crazy.
The zone is
I'm about to start sparring. I'm about to start putting my sparring matches on pay-per-view, yo. Yo, listen. More than the fights, better than the fights anyway, most of the time.
They got YouTubers making $1 million.
Hell yeah.
Then he was 20 and he was making $175,000.
Exactly. Everything changed, started to change after that Morales fight. They make you pay your motherfucking dues.
Flash your money right now, the zone.
Exactly.
Flash money on these young boys.
Exactly. I mean, so Danny, man, look, man, you and Angel, man, I got so much fucking respect for y'all. Excuse me, in front of your daughter. I have so much respect for y'all. Thank you so much for taking time on here, Danny.
Thank you, definitely.
And Angel, appreciate it. Angel, every time I'm around you, man, you're so real, man. I don't care. They try to cancel Angel, but Angel is so real.
They took the microphone away from Angel, man.
He's like the show The Wire. Remember The Wire? The Wire was too real for HBO at that time.
Yeah, but BBC did that. They took that shit. Other promoters still let their coaches talk. It's just BBC took it away.
You ain't the average coach, OG. Oh, hey, I think any promoter was took it off him.
Sells, bro. It's like MMA. Why you think they do so much numbers? Yeah. Personality is everything. Yeah. It's like you're a comedian, right? Your personality is gonna follow you for the rest of your life.
But even they can't.
Yes, sir.
So when you get older, like you're still gonna be that guy.
Yo, I was watching Eddie Murphy, Delirious. And I'm like, yo, they will never be able to say what he said today.
What he said about the homosexuals and all that.
Right off the rip, I was like,
great analogy, Danny.
Yo, listen, so I was watching that, right? I'm like, yo, it caught me off guard because I'm so used to everyone being so sensitive now that everyone protects, like, says certain things. But when he came off the rip, he was saying, like, I'm even scared to say it on here. But he was. I was like, yo, this is.
You can't talk about gay. You can't talk about no fucking body no more.
You can't talk about nothing out here.
When I went to school, one gay guy. He made believe he's a man. He was when he drunk, when he took 4 shots, and the whole how he was on his knees.
Yo, let me tell y'all, before we give the outro of this is how fucking real Angel is. After the post-fight with the Spence fight, he's saying, I think Danny should have been more busy, blah, blah, blah. He said, yeah, he got a couple of bruises, but that's what comes with the package. Plus, he's light-skinned. You're going to see it more. That was so fucking...
When you talk about the jab, like, what jab? You lost to yourself. If you look at that fight, Danny lost to himself.
Exactly.
If you look at his hands go, he would have beat him, man. He ain't beat him. Fucking jab. I don't know what the fuck he's saying that.
Yeah. It's just my point was just your realness, Angel. Your realness is appreciated, brother. It's appreciated in this day and age.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is sometimes a man gotta watch what you say because you could crucify yourself for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You gotta watch what you say. Like you a fighter, bro. Fuck, we gladiators, bro. I'm gonna fuck you up. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And you
right. No, you're right.
He ain't beat him with no fucking jab. He
Right.
said,
No, we don't even have to rehash that. You know what I mean? I love the way this conversation went without anybody could Google that, YouTube it. You know what I mean? We know what the fuck that was. So Danny, what's up next? Who you look next 2 fighters you want? We gonna have millions of people watching this.
Right.
Who would you like? Who's your wish list out of your next 2 fighters? Who would you like to have?
To be honest,
I couldn't let you out of here without asking that question.
I would really like to fight. I would like to fight Thurman again. I would like to fight Thurman again.
Nice.
And I would like to fight Mikey Garcia or Amir Khan. Those are 3 good. Because Khan's still a fight that people want to see.
No. Those are 3 dope fights. Those are 3 dope fights. 3 dope fights.
And they go all,
Yo, Angel said, Oscar. Angel said, I'll take that bag. We'll take that bag. We'll take
those
that.
are
That's gonna be a nice
147
bag.
fights.
See, the training that make $3 million off Oscar. That could be a purse, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rob Stapleton Effect. I would like to thank our special guest joining us today, champion, my man, Mr. Danny Garcia, and the superstar in the building, Mr. Angel Garcia. Thank you guys. We applaud you guys for your time and your uncandidness.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much for coming in, man.
This was a dope one.
Appreciate you. Hey, the bottle's coming, all right? Bottles are coming. You got it. Love you guys. Thank y'all.
Everybody think I'm going crazy.
Listen,